Hey, what's up, guys? Coming back with a real quick live video. I was supposed to go live yesterday. I was really busy yesterday, and I know this is the holiday weekend. I thought right now would be a good time to go live with you to speak to you guys for a quick second. As I always do, I always try to update you guys on new ways that I tend to prosper that I'm not particularly sure that I would have thought of in the early stages uh, pre-corona. Hi Kelsey, how are you? So I do want to come with this video, just let you guys know what I'm doing, kind of keep you up to date. Like I said before in a few other videos, we got a ton of contracts through this whole corona stuff, doing the disinfecting and different things of that sort. And some of the accounts we started, our state keep getting pushed back, um, from the governor in terms of opening up. But I've still been prospering, and I do want to share a few things with you guys that I feel like can help you, prosper in your business or take your business to, I guess, greater heights. Okay, so what I want to talk about is motels and hotels. Okay. I've been doing quite a bit of traveling because through my lead generation, having my people call, trying to solicit new contracts in many different ways. What I bumped into and going to like Grand Rapids or, even Flint or Saginaw, which is where I'm at now, and, some of the other states throughout some of the other cities throughout my state. I'm trying to expand my horizon a little bit, right? We are entering into Canada, and so we got a lot going on. So I'm like, well, what I was bumping up. Let me see. I have a business foundation now. No contracts. Okay. I thought motels are done. Cleaning in house. I'm about to get to it, Heather. I'm about to get to it. Just bear with me. Report. Nope. Nope. Like foggers. Nope. So what I've done is, um, I go to check in, to hotels, and I ran into this obstacle many times. So I would have Jasmine set it up, right? So let's say I'm going into Grand Rapids, for an example. I'm going into Grand Rapids. I get to the hotel, and on the website it'll say COVID-19. Or whatever it says, on the when you look it up. So we get there, they'll allow us to do the reservation for the hotel, and then we get there and they say, hey, it's only for essential workers in terms of medical, policing, nurses, doctors, different people of this sort, right? And not necessarily cleaning companies. So I would kind of talk to them and say, well, and it's crazy because like here, this, hey, how's it going? It's a Camina. Like this particular hotel where I'm at in Saginaw. Um, I mean, we have my people here because I have a team of people, my vehicle, and then we have the company like truck, with the equipment on it and stuff like that. But it's really nobody in the parking structure, like in the parking area, right? So I'm looking like why a lot of these places that I'm traveling to. Um, for service, like we were cleaning buildings and we soliciting and doing different things like that. Why is a lot of these hotels parking lot empty, right? They have some people, but it's not. So I'll get to the hotels, right? And what happened is they'll say, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Hart, I do see your reservation here where you reserved it, you and maybe a few people. But what I'm running, I'm taking my business license, looking forward to contracts. Okay, cool. Yep, just keep going. Mr. Black. So what happened is I'll get to the hotels, and then they'll say, well, Mr. Hart, this is only for COVID, essential people, COVID, 19 essential people. And I'll say, well, I'm a cleaning service, and I have documentation through my state where I can be out past a certain time, that type of thing, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, I should be okay. Well, they say, well, no, it's for like doctors, nurses, EMT, uh, policing personnel, different these type of people, right? So I say, wow, okay. So above, let's see, you guys employees versus subcontractors. What's your advice? Well, it depends on the person, Kelsey. I really don't like to try to tell people what's best for them in terms of subcontractors and employees. It just depends on you, right? You got to get the gut feeling for yourself. You got to get the vibe for yourself. Me, as far as just general cleaning, I love employees, right? And when I have like carpet cleaning or different specialty jobs, then I use subcontractors, right? So that's kind of how I do it. I know people that's like, let's say, in with coaching, or people that other, business owners that just use subcontractors. They feel like it's, better and it works better for them. So I tend not to like to tell you guys what to use in terms of pros of employee. So I tend not to like to tell you guys what to use in that regard. It's kind of, up to you. So to get back to the story, guys. So we making reservations going to Flint. You guys know Saginaw. Some of these places where I then picked up, fogging jobs. So a bulb snapped off in my head, and I said, well, maybe I could get some hotels and motels. So instantly, I start now that some of the bigger chains, it's you got to go through corporate, right? So some of them are a little bit more harder, I guess, to get. But the smaller chains where they a private entity, or they a private franchise where they can make their own decisions, not necessarily have to go through a corporate. It's easier to get into, right? And actually, that was like one of the best ideas I could ever think about. Okay, because I was doing the same thing I told you guys with the apartments, right? Where I showed you the app that I was using, the apartmentfinder.com or apartments.com app, and I was finding jobs. I say, well, I'm doing this for apartments and condos and little places like this. What if I could do this for the hotel? So that's exactly what I did. I started soliciting. Let me see. I was thinking about Airbnbs are good too. It's Airbnbs are really good to get into if you can get into them. So I started thinking about that. I started thinking about doing that, the fogging for the hotels. So a lot of these hotels, again, they're not accepting anybody, from the outside coming in, but they are accepting like EMT workers, like I say, essential guys. So, I'll run it past them and say, hey, have you guys thought about doing fogging? Do you do fogging for your rooms, your hotel, as a whole? And they're like, no, we haven't thought about that. Exactly what goes on, what do you guys do exactly? How does it work? Is it harmful to the guests? So, I have to kind of give them the rundown of the stuff, right? How it works, what goes on, how it goes. So since a lot of these rooms, like even at this hotel, right? I was able to get into it because it was open to the public, but a lot of rooms like this was they're not open. They're not open like you can it allow you to reserve, but it doesn't tell you on the site that when you get there you won't be able to check in. Like it don't tell you that is COVID essential workers only until you get there. So it's like, especially driving from where I come from, right down closer by Detroit, coming up to Saginaw or Flint or Grand Rapids, it's a bit of a drive. Sometimes it's an hour, hour and a half, 2 hour drive, right? But since I'm already going there to do business anyway, I thought it would be a good idea to some of the smaller hotels or even the motels, right? So we didn't kind of call it around and different things, explain it. A lot of hotels, believe it or not, they're not going to know what you're talking about. They're not savvy with the cleaning stuff, right? Because most of the stuff that they do is in-house, right? They have their regular housekeeping service, which is totally different than what we're doing, right? So they don't necessarily know what documents are mandatory when starting a cleaning company. You have to watch some of my old videos. I don't really want to cover that right now, but it's when you say documents, it's just a regular startup, right? You get your license, EIN number, banking, that type of thing. But some of the older videos will be able to explain that to you. But just kind of go through my videos here. Um, but like I say, guys, you'll be surprised how many hotels and motels you'll call and you ask them about fogging, like contracts, I think she means. Um, you can ask them about fogging, and they won't necessarily know what you're talking about. So you have to be able to explain that to them and convey exactly how that would be a great help to their building, to their facility, right? To their hotels. You'll want to explain to them exactly what you do, how you do it, and why you suggest that they take advantage of it, why you suggest that they do it, right? Seeing that a lot of the rooms are non-occupied, right? So you can do those rooms. The rooms where people are occupied, they may not feel comfortable with you doing those rooms, obviously, because it's guests in there, they're occupied, right? But that don't mean you can't come back and do those rooms. So like this particular hotel, we're gonna be here for 3 days, right? Because as people check out, we're gonna go in. So the way that a lot of these hotels is doing it, they're taking well, what she say? They're taking like maybe a whole 24 hours before they rent the room out again, before they rent the room out to the next person. So, for an example, this room right here that I'm in, they're it won't be they won't rent it out tomorrow, but it'll be available the next day, right? Because they want to take a whole day and do their wipe downs and their disinfecting and that type of thing. So I say, oh, well, we can help you out and you'll be able to re-rent those rooms if you let us come in and we do a fogging, right? We do a fogging to the entire facility, the entire room, and that'll help you guys out. And that way you don't have that 24-hour leeway where, I mean, that downtime, I should say, the 24-hour downtime. So that's what we're doing now. I'm going to be here in Saginaw for 3 days. We did one part. We're on the what's this? I'm on this side. I'm on the odd. They got the even side and the odd side number wise, right? I'm on the odd side now. We did a lot of the even side. So my crew, Jasmine here, we all here in just in different rooms, right? My whole team here. We got the company truck with the foggers, and then we're gonna bring a lot of them in there. As you guys know, I like the Halo, right? So I have several different ones, right? And I'm just kind of march through the hotel, make sure everybody's dotting their I's, crossing their T's, that type of thing. So yeah, this it's an incredible thing that you guys can try. I don't know how effective I mean, I'm good at selling, right? I'm good at explaining why they should do this and why they should take advantage of it. Guys, help me with the likes. Let's make this video discoverable. I think it's a unique video, a unique thing. I kind of want to say that I'm the first doing it, right? Because like I say, this is just something that kind of popped in my head. I'm already doing it with apartments in Detroit, Southfield, some of the surrounding areas. So I thought it'd be a unique way to help you guys out. I would suggest that you start with the smaller chain or the smaller like motels, the smaller hotels, right, where they can make the decision. Because when you get up to the Marriotts and these type of people, it's still hotels that I'm waiting to get emails from or callbacks from, right? Because we going after some of the bigger hotels. So I love your videos, Fabio. So informative. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. So I would say start small. Start like with your local, even the rinky dink, the places that you may not want to stay or you wouldn't personally stay at, right? You can start in your area, some of the little motels, right? Um, if you can convey that message to them, explain to them why. A lot of times when you go in, they're gonna have those face masks on. They're gonna have the latex gloves, on. They're already gonna be, trying to not contract that. So again, and especially if you got some literature, if you got some flyers, brochures, or anything like that where they can read or that you can leave with them, even if they don't say, hey, well, let's start you tomorrow. If you leave them with some literature, right, that explains the COVID and how disinfecting or how fogging or spraying could help their facility, that'd be a great help. Because even if the person at the desk isn't a decision maker, they can pass that along, right? They'll understand that, okay, this might be able to work for our facility. It might be something we'd be able to do. Okay. Now, how you price it depend on you. I tend to like to do it per room. Okay. How you do it, you can do it by the hour. You can do it flat rate. You can do it however you want to do it. But it's something that I feel that you guys should look into, right? It's really simple. You call the hotel, the same kind of like you just adjust your script a little bit, cold call them, let them know who you are, what you do, or you can just stop in if you feel like you can convey the message a lot better just doing the walk-ins. Again, a lot of times they won't be receptive to it because they don't understand exactly what fogging is, what goes into it, what you're talking about. Essentially, you're going to be dealing with a lot of foreigners, maybe from like India or from um, 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 Islamic countries, so that you got to kind of convey the message, right? Or it's somewhere, East Asian, that type of thing. So they may not understand exactly what. So you got to take. listening to what I'm saying, right? Because they're not gonna necessarily know what you're talking about, okay? And then the person at the desk, a lot of times, he's not or she's not the franchise owner or whatever the case is. They can't make the decisions, but they will pass the message or give you an email or a direct contact number for the property manager, the owner of the hotel or the franchise, whatever the case is, like that. Okay, this is not an overnight. Like I say, I'm still waiting for callbacks now or emails from some of the bigger chains and even some of the smaller places, right, that we went after. But I have been able to pick up some. Okay, so again, if I'm able to pick up some in my area, this absolutely is no reason why you can't do it. Especially for my people that's already got foggers, that's already doing it. They're disinfecting homes, they're disinfecting buildings and businesses. There's no reason why you can't kind of launch it in the hotel thing, right? And who knows, you might be able to pick them up as a cleaning contract. You might be able to do carpet cleaning. That's one of the things that I like to upsell, for them, the carpet, people walking down the carpet in hallways and different things like that, carpet cleaning. So I upsell that. No one's kind of took me up on the offer yet, but we've sold that we do offer carpet cleaning, for those, motels or hotels that might want to take advantage of that service. Obviously, you know how I handle that. I just outsource that out. When it come down to the COVID stuff, since I own this machines outright, okay, then what I do is have my people go ahead and disinfect because it could save me a lot of money just paying them by the hour than paying maybe like a third party vendor or a third party subcontractor, right? You guys know I do the 70-30 rule, so I'll take 30% a lot of times when I'm dealing with specialty service, carpet cleaning service, because I believe if you pay the contractor more as usual, that you would, number one, get more out of them, right? They'll go an extra mile because they know that you pay well. And then when you call them, they'll be very receptive to come in and do whatever the job is, right? I've had people that had other jobs lined up. And because of the relationship that I build with some of my vendors, some of my subcontractors, obviously they come and do the job for me if they can afford to do it, right? If it's not too tight on a job that they have prior to mine, then they'll be like, yeah, I can fit you in. We'd go ahead and get it together. Okay, so again, that's why I say if you have subcontractors, you want to pay them well, guys. Okay, pay them well. You might not do a 70-30, but just even a 50-50, right? It's fair, right? You pay them well. You have to think at the end of the day, all you did, you're not necessarily doing the work, but I take the Henry Ford model, right? You guys know about Henry Ford, right? He assembled the people to do what he didn't know how to do, right? Yet he get all the credit for it, right? And built a multi-billion-dollar business, right? Ford Motor Company is a multi-billion-dollar. You got subsidiary companies under that, multi-billion-dollar, right? So he did very well for himself, just thinking outside of the box, assembling the people to do what he didn't know how to do, right? I know how to do it, right? I have machines to do carpet cleaning jobs, but I'm not as effective. I believe I'm not. That's not my specialty as some of my vendors, right? That this is what they do. So again, that's the approach that I take. Some people might disagree with that. Some people uh, might say, well, I brought him the client. I'm going to take more. That's fine. I just operate a little different, and I seem not to have any problems, with my subcontractors. Okay, so again, this is different. I use for this particular thing. I use my employees, right? So I take some of my best employees. Obviously, they have to pay for their rooms and all of that stuff. You got to pay for that, right? To bring them with me, traveling, that type of thing. So it could be a little bit expensive, but if you're just a small company, you're doing it again locally in your area, right, where you can do it, and you might have a few people, that's working for you that you don't have to pay, to go to another city within your area, whatever, or another state, maybe close to your area, then that's a little bit different, right? You got to pay, for travel, room and board, that type of thing. But again, if you get some hotels, some motels in your area, you give them a call. I would probably suggest that you walk in because again, a lot of these little motels, you're dealing with people that's foreigners, and they're gonna hurry up and try to rush you off the phone. Trust me, I know we've done cold calling, that type of thing. They're like, what? No room, no room. We're not asking about a room. We asking about servicing your rooms, right? So again, you might be able to convey the message again. Some people are gonna get you out of there. Like I say, you're not gonna win everything, as we don't. So I'm just letting you guys know what I would suggest that you do. But you can do it however you want. You can still use the phones. give them a call. You just have to be able to sell that point, sell that service, sell that disinfecting, that fogging. You have to be able to sell that. Okay. Again, a lot of times they're not going to know what you're talking about. That's why I suggest that you kind of walk in where you can kind of show them some literature or leave a flyer, leave a brochure or whatever material that you have about the COVID, right? And explain to them why it's necessary that they should disinfect the rooms. Okay. And it's cool because, like I say, the rooms are already going to be clean. For the most part, all you got to do is come in there with your fogger and just disinfect the room, right? The solution that you have should be non-hazardous, right? Is not a solution that's gonna make them sick, that type of thing, right? Especially at least what I use. I use what goes with the Halo. Halo have a certain product, certain chemical that they like to use that you pour into the machine and it does its thing. Like I said, with the Halo, you set it, the timer on it, 15 minutes, however long you want to set it, and it does its thing. You just plug it up, leave it alone, and just go about your business. Okay. And like I say, I bought several different machines. I have some that's on back order now. That's just happened to be my favorite machine, right? Because we don't have to walk behind it, more like how Ryobi or some of these other ones you have to hold and walk behind it, that type of thing, right? So again, it's up to you guys. Even with those type of machines, don't get discouraged. Don't say, "Hey, he has a Halo and I don't have a Halo, so I'm not going to do it." Don't think like that, okay? Because again, you could take your Ryobi, you could take whatever equipment, whatever machine that you have, do your spray, do your disinfectant, right, and build that revenue up to where you can afford the Halo, okay. Even if it's on back order, you go ahead and order it when it becomes available. Then it gets shipped right out to you, okay. So again, if you guys have any questions, I'd love to entertain them. I think this is a great way that I've been able to keep revenue going, being very strategic with my marketing, learning more about COVID. You know, um, it's COVID cases that came down in my state. At first, it was kind of up there, but people are staying home and that type of thing. So it definitely have came down in my state. But I do think that using the fogging method or disinfecting and whatnot with the hotels and motels, I do feel like you guys are able to make some revenue, but start small again, because going after the Hyatts, going after the Marriotts, the Courtyards, uh, the bigger chains will become, um, you know, uh, down. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but it'll make you not want to go after the hotels if you start with the bigger chains. Okay. So, and again, how you price it is how you want to price it. Again, it's nothing that I specialize in, right? It was just something for me to think outside of the box. I figured that I can make more money by pricing it by the room at a flat rate um, with all of the rooms. I don't care if it's a double bed. I don't care if it's a king. I don't care if it's a queen. I don't care if it's a suite. I don't care what size of the room is. Not too late to fall, unfortunately. For the masses, they are expecting COVID case to increase. Yeah, yeah. See, I don't that multi-billionaire. I don't get into that really, to be honest, because if you're expecting cases right now, they're still having trouble with uh, getting a vaccination, which is a whole nother subject I'm not really going to tap into because I don't believe in them. But they still struggling with vaccinations. They still struggling with what caused it. They still are struggling with decreasing cases in many states, right, in many areas. So you can't even get the basics together in terms of helping cure this virus. Yet you're so knowledgeable enough to know that there's a possibility that it's going to come back stronger in the fall or it's going to come back stronger in 2021 is what I hear. I just don't tap into that, right? I just don't believe, because when you set your mind on, oh, it's coming back, it can be daunting to the entrepreneur that's not really educated about it, or at least educating themselves about it, right? So I don't let it get to me. I still watch the news, but I'm pretty sharp upstairs now, because if you watch the news, all they talk about is COVID. CNN, Fox, all they talk about is COVID, right? So if you watch that, and you don't have a strong mind, I would suggest you probably not to watch the news, at least as frequent, okay? Because you will feel like, oh man, my business, I'm never gonna win. I'm never going. Is there a certain certification to fog? No, not that I'm aware of. Now they might ask you if you have different. Are you acquainted with different organizations? um, or have different certifications, but it's not one specific certification that I'm aware of that you have to have. Okay. So, like I say, with the news will put you in a whole mind frame where you're like, oh, I'm just never going to be able to make money with my cleaning business. So I would tell you to step back from the news, personally, especially if you don't have a strong mind. Okay. Me personally, I can watch it. I hear what they're saying. It just doesn't bug me out. Okay. Um, Let me see if it's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. Like I say, we're gonna be here for the next 3 days. So the cool thing about it is they'll give you off on the rooms a lot of time. You still have to pay it. It's nothing free, right? So you still have to pay it, but they could give you a discount or give you, add you to certain programs or what have you that would allow you to have a discount. Okay, so let's see, I'm like certify myself. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Is I mean, the most that by getting certain certifications, most that it would do is allow many potential clients to feel comfortable with hiring you, showing that you have it. If you're on your website or whatever, you say, "Hey, I'm such and such approved," or "I'm such and such a certified," or "I have this certification, that certification." It's just building your resume. I mean, not your resume. It's just building your credentials, right? And allowing other people to feel comfortable with you because you have those particular certifications. So I'm not against them, but I don't want people to get bogged up in thinking that that's something that they have to have. Okay, because you don't have to have it, but I'm not against it. Okay. Um, yeah. So that'll pretty much wrap it up, guys. If you have, but you don't need it. Yeah. Yeah, biohazards. Yeah, all of those different ones. They might actually, if you have it, if you don't have it, just let them know you don't have it. Don't lie, you know. But if you feel like, hey, this is COVID, I can do an online program or online course, online class. I have the money for it, or whatever the case is. I can get certain certifications or whatever. Then let me see. Yeah, reference or review online, that type of thing. And that's a bright idea. That's something that you could do. Let me see. Uh, well, you're talking about the one that I like the most. If you're talking about that, it's Halo Seal, HALOSIL.com, or it might be .net. I kind of forget. I think it's .net for some reason. Um, but yeah, you can look it right up if you go on a Google search and type in Halo Seal. The site will populate. It'll be ranked on the first page. Okay. Um, and then all you have to do is click on the site and go there. Like I say, it is a back order for it, very long back order. A lot of people trying to order it all over the country, probably all over the world. So, but yeah, you'll type in HALOSIL into the Google, and then it'll populate right there on the first page. Um, but like I said, it is pretty pricey. But if you can afford it, it's a great machine. You plug it up, you put the solution in, set the timer for how long you want it to go. Once it do its thing, then it's done, right? It's done. You just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Okay. Just wanted to let you know I appreciate you and the person who's the other person. You can name them here. If it's somebody that's reputable that I rock with. I give credit where credit is due. I don't hate on any other YouTubers. How did you land that? Um, that's why I say start small, Kelsey. Start small. Do a little motel, right? do a smaller. You don't have to, again, you don't have to go after the bigger chains, right? You don't have to do the bigger chains. Uh, Word, it's you and AJ. Yeah, I love AJ. I haven't watched his videos in quite some time. I'm not even on YouTube enough to really, to really watch a lot of videos. But AJ have great content. So whenever someone asks me, hey, what do you think about AJ course, or I mean, not course, but I don't know what he's doing, but whatever he's offering, when people ask me about it, I give them the okay. I tell them, at least my people, I tell them, yeah, go ahead, give it a shot. Some people contact me and say, hey, it's pretty pricey, but again, you can't, you can't get a Lexus on a Ford Focus budget, right? So, I mean, if somebody have offer great material, then you have to pay for it, right? So, but yeah, AJ is a great guy. I plug him anytime. So yeah, if you're watching him and myself, obviously, I think you're on the great track. Here, yes, that's the game plan I have there. Okay, make sure. Yeah, well, a lot of times they won't see when you're done anyway. I mean, taking pictures of it won't. Um, I don't think really taking pictures of it won't really prove any. I mean, you can for your own sake, but most times it's not like you just then clean the room up, right? All you're doing is fogging it, right? So the room will be already clean. So you're already taking a picture of a clean room, and the fog is just a mist. It's just a clouded, thing in the air. So it really wouldn't be no reason to take pictures. But if you got a carpet cleaning job, you see it's a bunch of spots, you can take before and after pictures like that, show that you know how it looked before you did the carpet cleaning or the steam cleaning, whatever you did to it, and then show what it looked like after, that type of thing, and that'll help with your marketing, your promotion, that type of thing. So, but yeah, but even if you want to take pictures, a lot of times the front desk, the people, the hotel clerks, the hotel personnel, they won't be around you anyway. You'll be doing your own thing, fogging. So if you want to take a picture, you just take a picture, right? So, but I don't see where that would necessarily help you in terms of help you uh, from a marketing standpoint, right? If you're trying to sell to another hotel, it'll just show that you cleaned this hotel. That I mean that you well, again, I'm not. I don't know. It just showed that you was there at that hotel, not necessarily that you fogged it and what the outcome would look like. It's still going to look the same, right? But yeah, you guys just got to press torch. You just got to keep going, man. Whether it's hotels, whether it's businesses, it's always something that you can do. I got a guy right now. He's still selling essential products. He was using a distributor right now. He was making, I think, last I talked to him, he's like doing 12K in just regular face masks and latex gloves and different things. Found a little supplier online, and then he started putting it on, I think, eBay, Amazon. He built a little one-page site. I don't know who he used or whatever, but he built like a one little page site. He's in my coaching, and this is an idea that I gave him some time ago, right? And he's still doing well with it because he, for whatever reason, in his particular area, he wasn't able to really get it popping because of the COVID. Things is closing down. They haven't reopened. He can't get in contact with the decision maker, that type of thing. So again, guys, you have to be creative. Again, business. You can't tell the light people, hey, I can't pay the light bill today or this month because of the COVID. They might have certain programs or whatever, but that bill still have to be paid, right? Same thing I tell people with car notes and rent. You may have a out right now, right, where you don't have to pay your rent. They're giving you 2 3 months or whatever the case is. But like I say, I tell people, like I tell them on my Facebook, pay something, right? Even if it's just half of what it is. Even though because of the COVID and the situation going on, not many evictions is happening. But trust and believe, when your state open back up and the courthouse and everything get to bumping around, they could call that money all at one time, really, to be honest, right? So a lot of people, and I tell my family friends this, a lot of people think that they're getting over by not having to pay right now because of the COVID thing. If anything, you should be saving the money, right? And then so you'll be able to make that payment or pay at least half towards something. Same thing with car loans or whatever, they defer the loan for and put it on the back of the loan, you know, up to 120 days, which is like 4 months, right? But then once it's that time for you to start making the payment, you have to have that revenue available. You have to have that money available. So again, guys, you definitely want to be creative. I do this stock thing. I got the app on. I don't know which phone it's on. It's on one of my phones, but the app with the what's the shit? I can't think of it. I got a brain freeze right now, but it's gonna come to me probably as soon as I end this live. Um, what's this stock app that I've been using? It's a fun little app too. Uh, I can't think of it right now. But I'm able to check the stocks and buy and do everything right there from the app. Shit, I'm trying to think of it. I know I told you guys about it before. I don't know why I can't think of it. But like I said, guys, you definitely stay proactive, definitely stay motivated. I know some areas are still going through it a lot harder than other areas. I don't want you guys to get discouraged, whether you're watching my videos, AJ videos, or whatever the case is. We providing great information. So I would suggest that you keep watching the videos and keep going. Um, that's why I haven't been as active because I've really been busy with this. Like I said, we just expanded into my country in Canada, so we got that whole thing going on, which I'm extremely excited about. And obviously, we're still picking up contracts out here. Like I said, I had a stack full of contracts, many that we're waiting to service. Right, they haven't opened yet. Some have opened up, right, and we've got the people, which it's great because it allowed me to put people back to work that necessarily wasn't working, right? So that's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. This is still one of the best businesses that I would suggest anybody to get into. It's growing at an alarming rate. Again, I see new companies pop up on Facebook. They had these sponsor ads and Instagram, and I'm like, whoa, you know. And I click on their page or click on, you know, whatever, and I'm like, wow, these guys is doing it, and mostly, and they doing the videos with them fogging. Now, I guess you can do the videos. Somebody was saying take pictures. I mean, if you're doing the videos of you fogging and that type of thing, you can do that. But and I'm looking at these guys like, whoa, I bet you they're making a killing. It's just one company in Dade County. It's I won't plug their name, but I've seen them just on my feed and on Instagram in Dade County in Florida, and I'm like, these guys is really, they're forever posting. I'm like, they're really killing it with the fogging, right? And they commercial, residential, they do the cleaning and all of that, and most of their whole thing is just fogging. They have different buildings fogging. So again, I'm a real big advocate of doing the fogging for right now. Even though it might be a one-time job, again, if you go on there, you're able to upsell something else. If you notice they need window washing, your company's offer window washing, then you can set that up, right? They may or may not take it, but you don't know until you try. If you notice that the carpet need cleaning, you can offer that as an upsell, right? If you want to dethrone their housekeeping company and you say, hey, look, you can outsource this up to us. You know, you don't have to have a housekeeping company, especially for the smaller people, right? The smaller companies. Maybe the bigger chains might not necessarily do it. They may do it. You don't know. Give it a shot, right? Give it a shot. You got to be very aggressive, be innovative, right? Just because and I always tell people this, just because it haven't been done before, don't mean it can't be done. You just have to be the first to do it, right? You have to give it a shot. You can't say, well, you know, I'm not going to go to no hotel. That sounds far-fetched, right? Well, I did it, right? And I got many that I'm waiting to hear back from. You know, way more that I'm waiting to hear back from, opposed to what I've collected, what I've already done, right? So, well, but again, I started local, right? You start with the motels, the smaller ones, right? Even if it's kind of ran down, you're not there to sleep there, right? You're not there to, you know, be visiting, right? You're there to get the bag, get the check, right? So if you can go on there and sell them on why it's important that they should do it and give it a shot, and you price it reasonably, there's no reason why I don't think they'll pick you up. Okay. And I feel like I'm the first that came up with this. I haven't heard no one speak on this on any level in terms of going into the hotels and fogging. I haven't clicked on somebody's page or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I've seen them where they fog in the hotels, right? So I kind of feel like I'm being a little bit innovative by going into the hotel. And again, that only triggered because a lot of the hotels that I was scheduled, that I had bookings at, they wouldn't allow me to stay because I wasn't essential, right? I wasn't an EMT or police officer or a doctor or nurse, a nurse aide, that type of thing. I wasn't on the front line in that regard. So I'm like, well, maybe I can sell them fogging, fog their rooms, fog the building, right? Fog it up for them and see where it get me. Again, some people found it to be a great idea. Give it a shot. Again, the smaller motels and hotels, start with the smaller ones. And then if you feel like you want to go to the bigger chains, just give them a call. Like I say, it's going to be a lot of humps and hurdles to when you go up the ladder to try to get the bigger guys, right? I'm still waiting for emails and phone calls. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, I'm going to love to entertain it. I think this was a pretty effective video. Here, just giving you guys more perspective on different things that you can try. Maybe it might work in your area. I love when I get the emails back and they say, "Hey, Fabio, that one little video when you said this, or that one little video when you said that, I give it a shot and I got the contract, or I'm working this deal right now and it looks pretty good, Fabio. So thanks for that." And I love to receive those type of emails, even though I'm not always able to respond right away, right? So let me see. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, thank you, Robin Hood, thank you, multi-billionaire. So that's, yeah, that's the low stock app where you can, buy it right there. You can do everything right there. It's very friendly, very friendly. If you're into real estate, or real estate not your thing, I did it before, right? So well, what I've done was I was what they called bird dogging, right? So I was the middleman between the buyer and the seller. I would find the deal, right? Get the deal under contract, and then I would assign the contract to a investor, right, for profit. So that's a quick way to kind of to kind of enter real estate, right, by what they call bird dogging, right? Or I think another word for it is it wholesaling? I don't know, but that's what they call it, like bird dogging, right? So you find the seller, right? Give them an offer, you get it under contract, and then you sell that deal to an investor, right, for profit. Okay, so you help the seller out, right? You help them get what they want, and then you also made a few pennies from it too. So that's a quick way to do it. Where no money, because a lot of people think it take their money to make money in regards to real estate. That's a way that you could do it with no money, but just thinking outside of the box. You can get a book on that too. I think it's called host selling, if I'm not mistaken. Or you can look the term up. You could say real estate bird dog, and I think the right real estate word to come up for it. But yeah, that's a quick way that you can do it to enter it without having to own a property or fix it and flip it yourself or that type of thing. Um, so whether it's real estate, stocks, whether you have money, right, from your business, from your ventures that you got going on, you can also help other businesses. So you can lend money as a VC, right, and make an ROI on your investment. You can try that route. Um, I talk a lot about this on my Facebook page, and they have these different things. There's a lot of girls that do braids and hair and wigs and lashes and that type of thing. And I found a supplier. Well, it was on my Instagram. I advertised and I let everybody know on my Facebook, hey, girls, you guys like to do lashes and nails and all of this. Hey, I don't know if you heard about this, but here's a supplier, vendors. They have a host of vendors that allow you to start up your own lash business, your own cosmetic, skincare line, your own wigs and weaves and this and that. So again, um, if it's something that you guys want to do and your business is not making money right now because of COVID, or you're just not able to execute to the highest level in your area, start thinking about something else that you can do temporarily. Just don't give up on the business. Now, typically, I wouldn't tell you guys to do that because I feel like it'll distract you, right? But if you stagnant and you trying your hardest and you say, Fabio, I'm just not gaining that traction, then I would suggest you probably try something else, in the meantime, right? And then when things start opening up, the revenue that you made from, let's say, bird dogging or real estate or, something else, then you can take that and reinvest it back into your business. You could buy a Halo machine or, more equipment or whatever the case is. Okay. And another way you guys can do it is kind of like find jobs for, you get you some vendors, you find carpet cleaning jobs, find different jobs like that, and do kind of what bird dogging, but you're assigning it to that particular subcontractor, that vendor. So they're looking for work. They can't find the work. If you can get the work, you can set up the price and you get everything set up, or just find the vendor first, right? The subcontractor first. Let them know, hey, well, what's the lowest you'll go? You kind of iron it out with the vendor. However you want to do it, then you find the job, you get the job, and then you assign it to the vendor. They do it, or the subcontractor, they do the work, and then you get a portion of the revenue, and all you did was just bring them a new client, right? You didn't have to do none of the work. So again, guys, it's about working smarter, not necessarily harder, even though I believe hard work does pay off, right, in the long run. But you have to be relentless. You have to be strategic. You have to be able to take a risk, calculate a risk, and don't be one of those type of people that think just because it haven't been done that it can't be done. Okay, because you never know what can be done until you do it. Okay, so that'll pretty much wrap it up, guys. I did enough talking. Let me see, love. Love you. Have a great evening. I love you more, I really do. How would you recommend someone with no cleaning experience marketing farming jobs? I have some ideas, but just wondering from your perspective. Let me reread this here. How would you recommend someone with no? Well, the thing is that even with me, I'm not like a pro at doing it. I've been had a lot of the machines already, just never had to do them. I never even thought about using them on a consistent basis. During this whole COVID stuff, this is the most that I've even did fogging, right? But I didn't have to hurry up and go out and buy machines, right? Because I mean, when you're really into this cleaning stuff, like we are, then you should be knowledgeable. You should be doing research. You should be seeing this type of stuff, just trying to learn what type of equipment, what you can get into, like power washing for those that do power washing, that type of thing, right? So you should be always alert as to like what's going on in the marketplace. And let me see. Hey Fabio, did you get my question? Um, I'm scrolling up. I'm gonna get to it. I promise. I'll get to it. But like I say, you should. Probably watch a few videos. It's really simple to do. There's a lot of people that never did it, but they're so confident in themselves, and I'm one of them, right? You watch a few videos, especially with the Halo. They show you on the website. They actually, if you go to the Halo, they show you how to use the machine, how it works, and break it down, the solution to put in the machine, how to properly do it, and how to properly do everything. They have a tutorial video on it. And most companies that offer foggers or whatever to any masses actually have tutorial videos on it, right? Whether it's YouTube or whether it's right there on their page. So you watch that, you see how they do it, right? You go to buy the machine yourself. You watch somebody that did it, and boom, they don't know if you're a professional at it or if they're your very first client. They don't know, right? Because you're just so effective at it. You have your shirt on, you professional, right? You talking your talk, you walking your walk, and you have the machine, have your crew come in, your people do it, and bam, there you go. You just whether you got to walk behind, what I call the walk behind, where you hold it and walk behind it, or whether you just have a halo. Okay. Let me get back to the questions here. I want to make sure. How would you recommend someone? Oh yeah, I think I did ask your question. This was your question right here that I was just answering with You asked me with the no cleaning experience, marketing and fogging. You know, you watch a few tutorials on it. You know, it's nothing different than anything else. Like if you haven't did any floor care cleaning or carpet cleaning or anything like that, how do you keep your employees from stealing equipment? Uh, that's I'm not gonna say it's easy to do, but for an example, like here, right? So I have employees here. I also have the van out there with all of the equipment on it. It's lock and padded, and everything is secure. Um, I'm just not worried about that, especially like when I'm on the road, what I would consider on the road right now. I'm in Saginaw, Michigan right now. So, but even locally to you, you just have if it's not yourself, you want to have a supervisor because essentially you want somebody to go behind and make sure everything was done, make sure, you know, if they have any questions they can ask a supervisor. I'm really big on supervisors, if you can afford to pay one. If not, then you have to be that person. And if it means you have to get out of your bed and go check on this site or whatever, if you're only supposed to be there for 4 hours or however long to disinfect the place or fog the place out, then when you see it's getting close to, you know, 4 hours, maybe 3 hours in, you get up, you go there, you know, get there a little early. You get to checking on everything, right? If the machines are supposed to stay there, you got to come back and do, you know, whatever. Then you just make sure the machines are still there. But like I say, unless you just got faulty training in place, you don't feel like doing something. I don't necessarily think that it'll be too easy for them to steal from you unless you just do not pay attention at all, right? You're not checking or nothing. You're just saying, hey, do this, even with regular stuff, right? Your vacuum cleaners, that type of thing. If you're not consistently checking, the vacuum cleaner could have been gone for a week already, right? It could have been gone for a week. You know, they could have not been vacuuming at all. But if you don't consistently go and tap in and check in, especially in the early on stages, I tell people all the time, when I first started out, I was so freaking paranoid. I was so paranoid when I first started out. And that's because well, not only with me, but when I hired my very first employee, because the thing is, guys, is I wanted to do everything right. I didn't want them to have any complaints. I had a checklist of things to do. I made sure I followed my checklist. And this is when it was just me, 30 days, 30 to 60 days in, right? Again, you hear me say, you know, you do it yourself for 30 to 60 days, then you put a body in there. So I was so freaking paranoid, right? But I wanted to get it right. So I took as long as it took to clean the facility, to clean the place, and I got it right. I didn't get very early on. I didn't get a lot of hiccups or misses, right? Because I followed my checklist, right? And even now, I don't get many. We still, you know, every company get them. We still get something where we miss something and we got to improve. But I was when I was doing it myself, I was very efficient, right? That's vacuuming, that's sweeping, that's mopping, that's whatever I had to wipe down, so it's whatever I had to do. The only thing that they hopped on me about a lot of times is because I was using stronger chemicals that really smell really good, like Fabuloso. And some facilities, they like the smell, but they feel like it's too strong. Because again, you guys know my story, right? I got everything from Family Dollar. I bought Fabuloso, Orange Cleaner, this and that. I bought everything, right? But Fabuloso was one of my favorite, and even though I would dilute it, it still had a strong smell. It smelled great, but it was too strong for the office, right? And another mistake that I made without asking, I thought I was doing a great favor, is I will buy those Glade plug-ins, and I'm thinking like, oh, you know, I'm going an extra mile. I want the bathroom to smell great. And I'd be damned if they don't take it off the wall and say, "Hey, we don't use this here." And I didn't ask them. So this is just something I thought I'm going an extra mile. I wanted to smell great, and you know the Glade with the oil, that type of thing. You plug it in, and they would take it out and put it in the janitor room and leave us a note and say, "Hey, we don't use these. We don't want these plugged in the office," right? So again, that something like that you would want to ask. That's what I learned obviously to do now. You would want to ask, would it be okay to do that, guys? Certain things like that. So again, like I say, um, once you get the hang of a building, it's going to become second nature. Once you uh, train yourself uh, effectively on how to do the job, then when it's time to bring somebody in, you'll already know how to train them. Come on, guys, let's get these likes up. I'm starting to think you guys don't like me, maybe because I don't do the videos every single day or every other day like I used to. But let's get the likes up. I want to make it get the video discovered and with the YouTube algorithm. I don't do a Patreon. I don't have anything to offer no more. So at the very least, what we can do is get these likes up, right? Help the video become discoverable. I really appreciate those. A lot of people share my stuff on YouTube, from YouTube on their Facebook, and they'll let me know, send me an email, and say, hey, Fabio, great video. I shared it on my Facebook platform or whatever platform. And I really appreciate that, guys. I really do. My diehard subscribers, I really appreciate you so much. You guys have any more questions here? Hey, Fabio, did you get? Yep, I got to your question earlier. Robin had it. Yep, yep. Let me see here. Did I miss anybody? I want to make sure I didn't. Oh, no, I meant for regular cleaning. Let me see. Oh, yeah, take pictures for regular cleaning. Yeah, I mean, especially I think that works really, really well in like homes. Like if a home is in disarray, you go in, you take pictures. The sink is atrocious. The floors is atrocious. Um, it's a lot of whatever on the floor. You take a few pictures, um, and then take the after pictures after you clean it and really get it together. A lot of offices don't never look so messy as like homes do, with a lot of stuff spilled over or whatever, at least from what I see. But you can still do it just to show, hey, you're in the office, if you want. But it probably will look the same once you vacuum everything and wipe everything down. Just I guess it depends on what you're cleaning in the office and how bad it is. Some offices is nasty. So, but yeah, you can definitely do the picture thing. And if you're gonna do it, I would suggest you turn it into a flyer. Use it as a selling point. Landed it through networking. Multi-billionaire. Okay, landed it through networking. Yeah, yeah. Networking is a beautiful thing. I talk a lot about networking on a lot of my videos. I'm a big fan of networking. You never know. You never know, right? You should always be out. I talk a lot about visibility, right? Being visible, right? You should always be visible in the marketplace because if you're not, I guarantee somebody else is. Let's see here. Let's see, do a great job. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, we approaching an hour here. Good to see you, Fade. Nice to see you too, Kay. Nice to see you too. Fade. That's interesting. Hi, Fabio. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I still food fogger, but keep busy power washing. Oh, okay. What fogger did you order? What fogger did you order? Man, I just love this fogging stuff. I swear. I keep going. I'm selling. I'm using it as a selling point to do at least one or two foggings for clients once business to start opening up, because I know a lot of clients are going to still have the mentality like this COVID stuff is still around, right? They're still going to be on the edge with it, right? It's still going to be fresh in people's minds, I believe, for the rest of the year. I predicted in my area that it was going to slow up massively by June, and it looked like we're on the right track, even though the governor just extended it into June. So I think we're on the right track. We dropped down drastically compared to where we was in the state of Michigan in terms of cases and deaths. So that's a good thing. Um, but I for me, I don't let it stop me. As you guys see, I'm steady trying to keep it creative and try to do different things. We still have some accounts that's still open that we clean regularly, right? That's just still open. We had some that went back to work, right? They called us back. They say, hey, we're gonna still need you guys on the regular days, you know. So that was good because it allowed me to call people back that I had to lay off, you know, sit back and say, hey, we start back up, you know, so they're excited. So it's just a beautiful thing, man. A lot of you guys, a lot of my subscribers not taking advantage of the COVID, of this whole COVID thing. They're getting depressed behind it. I'm reading the emails, you know, I'm kind of slow in responding back, but I'm getting it, and it's just terrible when I read so many just terrible emails, and I'm like, shit, this is crazy. I almost wish I could save everybody, you know, everyone, like, but everybody don't have that same energy. Everybody don't have that ability to go out and sell it and really, you know, really be strategic and really believe in themselves to go out and do it. And that's where I excel at. I can convey that very, very well. So, do you think the disinfecting wave will die down? Yeah. Personally, I think it died down. And like I say, in my state, it's kind of dropped down. We're supposed to open up. We really supposed to open up the end of this month, but it's looking like it's not. The governor expanded it to next month, but eventually everything will open back up. I mean, you can't just keep everything down. It's millions and billions of dollars being lost in revenues from the malls, from eateries, and these people still have businesses. Their bills still have to be paid, right? That's why a lot of them have takeout or you have to go to the drive-through to do it because they just cannot afford to cut the store down completely. Even the beauty supply stores. That was a big thing in my area. You should have seen Facebook. Facebook was mad as hell, but these beauty supplies, they couldn't buy these wigs and these weaves and these products and glues and different things. They was mad as hell. But soon as these beauty supplies, which a lot of them have, a lot of them, I'm not gonna say most of them, but a lot of them have opened up in my area. Oh man, they selling it like I went to the beauty supply myself. I had to get some uh, the gel that I use for my hair, and uh, I went live and showed them. I'm like, hey, they trapping out of the beauty supply store because they literally had a counter right there. You couldn't come in. You tell them what you want, and they go and get it, and they block you. They block the whole door. They had a counter. I'm like, oh man, they trapping right out the beauty supply store, right? But again, guys, like I say, they're being creative. Again, bills have to be paid. So, with all seriousness, I really wish that you guys be creative, even if it's something that I haven't talked about, it's something that I'm not too knowledgeable about. Don't feel like, oh, Fabio haven't talked about it, or I emailed him and he wasn't able to get back to me. I'm not gonna do it. You again, we entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs take risks. You just have to calculate the risk. Okay, you have to make sure within your own self that you feel comfortable with taking that risk. You feel comfortable with completing that task. Okay, now if you don't feel too comfortable or you feel like I don't know what I'm doing, what if I mess up? If you already have those type of thoughts before you even do the job, then I probably wouldn't even do the job because you're already thinking about the bad part. What if this happened? What if that happened? And what I'm gonna do? Okay. Now you don't have to be naive to it, but don't think so negative. Don't think, I mean, what would happen if you win, right? So again, if you're thinking already on the bad side of the field, going into it, I probably wouldn't do it because you're probably gonna walk yourself into a fuck up. Okay, portable fogger brand. This is in description. ULV. Okay, okay. Like I say, guys, you try. Okay. Portable fog. Okay. What was the going price for it? If you don't mind sharing it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You know. Um, I tell my people, don't try to break your bank. That's a good. See, that's a good thing. Outside disinfecting. You could do it that way and sell that. Okay. Especially in New York, a lot of buildings are still closed, right? I'm not sure when you guys city or when your state is going to open back up, but that's being creative, disinfecting the outside and the perimeter of the building. Okay. If you could sell that and you could sell it at a decent point and you say, hey, I can fog the outside, I could do the outside, I can do the bushes, I could do the lilies and the plants or whatever. I could do whatever, right, without killing the shit. You don't want to kill it, right? But power washing, window cleaning, any of these services, you can still try to no market now for fogging in New York. Right, right, yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's no market for it because I got people that's in my coaching that's fogging right now in New York. Make that call. Yeah, fog the bushes. Yeah, you know, spray everything, right? Fog it out. You gotta get to the bag. You gotta get to the bag. But as long as you're able to convey a message, right? You're able to convey it. You can look them in their eye. You know that you know what you're talking about, and you can sell it. As long as you can sell it, then you'll be able to get the contract, right? You'll be able to do it. Okay. Again, if you can't do businesses, try residential, right? Try residential. Going door to door with a flyer, talking to the homeowners, letting them know what you're there for. You have your mask on, you have your company shirt on, you're looking professional, right? You have your magnet on your car when you pull up and they see, okay, this person, you leave them your business card. They might not take it right away, right? Again, you should run your business like a presidential campaign. So you use all marketing mediums, right? When the president running for the presidential, they use television, they use newspapers, they use postcards, they use flyers, they use door to door, they use everything, right? Radio, they use everything, right? So you run, I mean, you don't want to go broke if you don't have the revenue, but you can do the things that you can do that's cost effective, right? So if you can get a stack of 5,000 flyers, right, you can go door to door. You might get a 5,000 business cards, and then you give them a flyer and a business card, right? And give them, leave them with that. Or if you can get some brochures or whatever the case is, you leave them with that. Let them think about it. Okay, ask them would it be okay to follow up with them, maybe in a couple of days to see where they're at with it, and you can go door to door with it, right? It doesn't hurt to try, even if you don't want to knock on doors, right? Then you can kind of just leave it on their door, so when they come home or whenever they open their door, check the mail, it's there. Okay, I would probably try to talk to them, but everybody just for whatever reason just don't want to deal with people. Okay, and that's fine, but at least leave something there so they can say, you know what, I seen your flyer, I seen your brochure, or your card, it was stuck on my door or whatever the case is. Okay, same thing when you go to Walmart. I always keep those flyers. I did a video about this a long time ago. I haven't done it in a while, but like when you go to Walmart or Myers or whatever national chain, Kroger's or whatever national chain in your area, it's all of these cars in the parking lot, right? And they live somewhere, right? They're a resident somewhere. And if you leave it on the window, just on the window between the rubber and the window on the driver's side door. So that way they can't miss it. They open that door, they see that flyer right there, they're gonna pick it up, right? And it could be your business. You're advertising fogging, right? And right in Walmart, right? You park in Walmart, you go up and down the row, put it, move a little quick. Might have a partner with you, your son, your daughter. You show her how to do it, show them how to do it. This is just something thinking outside of the box, guys. I can't tell you for sure if it's gonna work in your area, right? But it's just something that you can put out there, right? You advertise disinfecting their homes or fogging their homes. getting their homes COVID free, right? Certain magic words you got to use on there, right? Okay, so again, you advertise that. Again, you believe in it. They give you a call. How does this work? You got to be able to explain that stuff to them once they call. Okay, so again, or if you got a website or whatever, and you do a little quick video like on your website. So if you don't have a YouTube and you fog and you're doing a video, then you post a video on your website. So when they go to your website, they'll be able to see it. So there's a lot of different ways that you guys can convey the message, get it out there, right? You see, market as well. If you start for outside people who will need people out of work in the business because of the people around them. Back in, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. You guys have any more questions before I go ahead and wrap it up? I don't know what time it is. I didn't want to be too long, but I was very, very excited to tell you guys about this motel hotel fogging thing. This is just something me just trying it outside the box. Like I said, it was a few times I was supposed to come here, Saginaw and Flint, Michigan, and I set it up online. It doesn't say that you can't do it. I set it up online, and then I get there and they say, well, it's only for COVID essential workers, right? So now I'm in Flint or I'm in Saginaw. I got to figure out where I can go and room uh, because my reservation, it's there, but they won't accept me in because I'm not an essential worker. So now I had to get smart. Once I do it online or have Jasmine to do it online, I'll say, hey, Jazz, make sure you follow up with them and make sure it's not essential worker because I don't want to run into that again, right? I don't want to think that everything is in a bag and I get there and they say, hey, you can't stay here, you're not essential, right? Or you got to have the documentation by the state to, show that you're essential for whatever reason to stay here, right? And I bumped into that a lot. So that's when I got creative. Say, okay, great. Well, what about fogging the rooms? What about fogging the hotel itself? So I just added it to the list of things for my cold callers to do for my lead generation, and I got some hits. So again, that's why I wanted to go live. I figure if it worked for me, it will be able to work for you perhaps. But I tell you to do start small with the motels and the smaller hotel chains in your area. Okay, just the smaller franchises. Okay, don't try to go to the Marriotts, the Courtyards, the top of the line, the Wyndhams, the Winds, and the bigger chains. Don't try to do that right off rip. Okay, so um, again, guys, if you have any questions, I'd love to go ahead and entertain. If not, then I'll go ahead and wrap it up. And got me some uh, wine because I feel good about it. Some wine here, and I shared it with some of my people. I just love my staff people, because a lot of them have to. That's one cool thing when you're traveling and you have a crew traveling. Man, it takes a lot because they have kids and other obligations, and to take them away from them to say, yeah, if you're paying for the room and it's on you, then I don't mind doing it, right? It just take a lot for them to try to get that situated. So I love my employees to pieces. I really do, especially the ones that I can really, really count on that never really call off, never really have any problems with. And the same with my vendors, my subcontractors. Whenever I call them, for the most part, they always fit me in. So I'm very, very thankful. I'm very, very appreciative because all that do is just build my brand up, uh, um, build my name up. So when they come in and they clean or they do the carpet or whatever they're doing, even though it's a third party company, it still look good on my name because they hired me. They didn't hire this company, but I sourced it out to this company. They did it. They did a fantastic job, and now I get the credit for it. They got paid handsomely, but I got the credit for it, right? So when it's time to do it again, they don't have a problem with calling me to do it. So again, I took that whole little thing. I learned, I read up on these millionaires and billionaires. I took that whole little thing from Henry Ford. Henry Ford did not build the first Model T. Did not. He didn't know what to do. Henry Ford dropped out at third grade, right? While Henry Ford was smart enough to know what he didn't know and assemble the people to do what he didn't know how to do. But everything says Ford, 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 right? He gets the credit for it. Hi, Fabio. What's your advice on someone who wants to move forward with the business? Had you send an onboard document and get no response after numerous of emails months ago. Um, if you sent marketing material, you made some calls, and it's been months, and you haven't gotten any response, I will fall back. I won't keep wasting my time on them, right? No matter what company it is, big or small, I will fall back because clearly they're not interested. But then you can give it a try back maybe the next quarter. I like to look at, it's 4 quarters in a year. I kind of like to break it down in quarters, right? So I say, you know what, I'll fall back now. And then I might come with a whole new flyer, a whole new get up, a whole new marketing scheme. And I shouldn't say scheme, but a whole new marketing plan to go, right? And I'll offer or introduce them into something else, new or start with something else that I can offer them, right? Maybe the next quarter, but I wouldn't get myself beat up about it, right? Because when you beat yourself up about an account, and I used to do this in the early on stages, you start to become lethargic. You just deteriorate, right? So here it is. You got your business register, you got your LLC, you got your EIN, you got your bank account, you got all of this stuff. You got the business cards, you got the flyers, you got all of this stuff, and then you don't have any contracts, and then you're beating yourself up over this really one account that you really want, okay, and or multiple accounts that you really want, okay. So if over so many months and you're still trying to go after it, I will fall back and then maybe try back, okay. And like I said, it's 4 quarters in a year. I would kind of break it down into quarters, right? I wouldn't keep sending it out because if you're not getting any response, then clearly they might not be interested now, but that don't mean that they would never be interested. Okay. So you might come with they might not like your offer. It could be the offer. You might not be able to convey the message right. They might not feel comfortable with hiring because of the way you conveyed your message to them when you did your walk-ins or over the phone. You might have been a little nervous or whatever the case. People can read that stuff, right? And sometimes when you're nervous or you're not able to convey that message well, then they're not willing to take a risk with you because they figure you don't know what you're doing or you don't know what you're talking about, right? So I would probably fall back and then maybe next quarter give it another shot. Okay. And that's with any company, big or small. Yeah, that's with any company, whether that's an email, whether you email them, whether you by phone, whether you in person, if they just not respond and then fall back. And then I would say again, you could try back maybe the next quarter of the year. It's my messenger going off, guys. Okay, that yeah, is that it, guys? Did I answer all the questions? At least most of them. If not, you guys, you do have my email. You can always email us at hollywoodjanitorialserve@gmail.com. Hollywoodjanitorialserve, serv@gmail.com. Hollywoodjanitorialserve, serv@gmail.com. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, it was definitely my pleasure to come on live and introduce this to you. If you guys do get started, fogging hotels or motels, bigger or small, let me know. Let me know how it works out for you. You know, if you got in the door and it looks promising, let me know that too. Let me know, hey, Fob, I think I might get this hotel. We don't know yet. Just let me know. Kind of keep me updated. I like to hear you guys' success stories, or if you get into a little clutch and you're not sure, maybe you can email me. Again, the best way to do it is because I like to talk on the phone. I'm not really good at emailing back myself personally. Jasmine, we get swamped with emails. She's actually backed up now. But again, I got her doing a million things. So she do get back. It's just a lot slower than you guys are used to. So that's that. But we will get back. But if you do email us, leave your name and your phone number where I can personally give you a call back. I do try to call back, personally, right? To as many people as possible because it's a lot easier for me to convey the message to you verbally over the phone than try to email it back. I really want you to understand. Okay, so if you run into a crunch, send me your name and number via email, always. Okay, and uh, and I'll try to phone you back and help you out. Okay. So, but it's a beautiful thing. Get into this fogging stuff, guys. Do what you can do. Take a risk. Believe in yourself. And the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. Take care.